another very developing story regarding what's happening with the ruling party. And shortly I'll be taking the soundbite of the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Gladys Bose, who spoke, was it in Nandi County, I understand, from my colleague who is stationed in the county of Uasin Gishu. And when ready, we'll be taking that soundbite. But first, coming to you, what do you make of what's transpiring in the ruling party, Honorable Mark Nyamita?
I think one of the things that what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, especially the Deputy President of the ruling coalition, shows us that something is terribly wrong within it. Because I saw the interview that they held with the Deputy President, where he accused his boss that people are hanging on the boss's car and calling him names for him to exactly do the same over the weekend. In fact, I think over the weekend it was even more serious. I saw one former colleague of ours leading a Ruto to go in front of the Deputy President and saying that his boss is a con and things like that. I think that if the Deputy President feels that the marriage between him and the President is no longer tenable, the honorable thing for him to do is to say it is not working, then he leaves. It is as simple as that. Number two is that when you're holding a high office like that of the Deputy President, there are certain things that there's a way that you need to really carry yourself. You will agree with me that this country is composed of, let me say, about 8 regions, more than 40 different ethnic communities. Mm-hmm. The Deputy President can never say 2 sentences without referring to his ethnic background. Every single place. And that is not only in Central, including in Nairobi. When he is in Nairobi, he will go to a particular region where he thinks that he has many other people and continue to address. And I think that there is a problem. The Deputy President has a problem with the governor of Nairobi County. He has a problem with his boss. He has a problem with the majority leader of his party. Mm-hmm. He has a problem with his own member of parliament. His own member of parliament. His own member of county assembly. His MPs from his region. He could be having a point, but then he cannot be the only right person. That all these people that are around him have a problem. It is only him who is exactly that is right. So I think that he's putting the country in a terrible mood. And to try and threaten the establishment, including government and all of us, that if anything happens to him, there are consequences. We just want to say, on my own behalf, that this country is for all of us.
Okay. Let's now have that soundbite by Robert Mboy, and then I come to you, of what Gladys both said in Nandi County.
I am putting you regarding Gachagua on notice. You are going to be impeached. I can confirm that to you today. And I shall be in charge of that impeachment myself.
Honorable Robert Mboy, what would explain most of Kenya Kwanza's decision, starting from the presidency, in not managing Gachagua from the onset, letting him on the loose in talking against a court order in the county of Nakuru, calling Kenya a shareholding entity, yet it's a constitutional democracy, and saying that being a private shareholding entity, that is government and that of the president will only serve the people who voted for it. I mean, it's now too late, isn't it, for them to tell Gachagua to step back from the brink?
Ayub, first I'll say that, Gachagua has just been a politician like many others, and the kind of comments he's made have been made by very many other politicians from time immemorial. I mean, it's not unique to him. The issue even of regional politics is a Kenyan way of politics. I mean, we know. Why is it that certain regions vote to the last man for a certain regime? If the regime is good for the country and other people in other regions completely reject it. Kenya is a regional country. Tribal politics play out all the time. And every one of these political leaders have a backbone. And their backbone is where they come from. And they must normally, amass the votes of that region. I think what we are going through here is just politics of 2027. I think that's where the problem is. There is an intention to divide the mountain's votes And this is the intention of Kenya Kwanza, to make sure that this bloc does not vote together. Because if they're united, the numbers are tremendously high. If you remember the Deputy President, when he was talking about, shareholding, I mean, ideally, he was also telling his boss that 47-48% of the votes you got to be in office came from my region. I mean, that's where the story of shareholding came from. So it's really been a fight between the two of them, and I'm sure it's a fight probably for resources. But I'll challenge anyone to tell us exactly what did the Deputy President do that is impeachable. I mean, I've heard the Deputy Speaker say that she will lead an onslaught. Deputy Speaker has to try and sometimes be also, how do I put it, maybe fairly neutral by virtue of the office she holds. Because, the Deputy Speaker is, is supposed to officiate over the House and allow members from both sides to make decisions. Once you take up that office, you cease to start to be involved in the direct confrontations that take place. So I think the intention is to divide the mountain. I don't think it will work. But then why am I saying this impeachment of the Deputy President can't work? It's because, one, they only have the numbers. The numbers are there. If they bring it tomorrow, they will actually pass it in both National Assembly, most likely in Senate. I'm very sure in National Assembly they'll have the numbers to do it. But then what they don't have is the reason. They are now looking for reasons. Yeah. That's why every day you see meetings being called, elders from different regions. You see politicians, members of National Assembly. The next day you see MCAs are being called. The other day, so the MCA saying, we don't even know why we are called here. Yeah. So obviously you can tell it's a scheme being arranged by someone so that they can give him a bad name, give the Deputy President a bad name. But let me tell you, there's also a lot of people that are, waiting, on the sides for the position. For their hand to fall. And look at the number of people that are involved in the noise. I mean, there are people from Luo Nyanza that have been, in the forefront of fighting Deputy President. Suddenly, he's become a serious enemy. And so obviously, when I looked at the papers, I saw a number of people who are being proposed as possible takeovers from deputies after he leaves office. But one of the ones that is at the forefront is from Mount Kenya region, and I would shudder to imagine the CS for Interior becoming Deputy President.
Why?
Considering what he officiated over recently in the killings, I would call them murders, the abductions that are still taking place of Kenyans. Now, a person of that stature becoming Deputy President, then we may need to have to move out of this country, because it will get worse. You saw what happened to lecturers yesterday. They were being beaten, like they call it burukenge. I don't know how burukenges are beaten. Yes. But they were being beaten simply because they wanted to present a petition to Parliament and to say that they have issues about their working conditions. And they were being beaten and denied them an opportunity. You saw a student of this university in Ongata Rongai. Multimedia University. They're beating the kid. He was almost killed. The fellow, his leg was broken. In fact, when they went to pick him, his leg was already broken. He couldn't move. And they forced him to walk. They beat him up. They threw a tear gas on his head. It exploded next to, he could have, removed his eye. He could have made him deaf. These people are brutal. But the leadership of that Interior Ministry has never, even one day, taken responsibility or commented or told the police not to take action. When we were vetting the CS, I was in that committee, and I asked this question. I said, why do you think you're fit to hold office? And things have happened, you should take responsibility and resign, instead of even applying for the position. And you know what he said? He said, you know what, the IG resigned, so the buck stops at the IG. And he said that he deals with policy. But we've heard him saying, we do not want, you dare get to the streets, will deal with you. How then he's able to threaten, but when something goes wrong, he says, it's not me, it's the police. I think we need to stop this politicking and allow the Deputy President to do his job. It is only Ruto who can tell us. What did he tell Gachagua to do? Because he's a principal assistant of the President. What did he tell his deputy to do, and the deputy didn't do?
Thank you. Senator, coming to you, because this is a very fundamental question. Yesterday, the clip preceding that amateur video that we had of Gladys Bose was, she spoke in her mother language most of the times, and She made a point that she is the defender of the president, forgetting that the head of state is a state property. He is just to be a private citizen once he takes the oath of office, and therefore hinting at that impeachment plot. What then therefore justifies the calls for the removal of Rigathi Gachagua, and based on what criteria, when Rigathi Gachagua clearly made statements that were at odds with the Constitution? He did not obey a court order, stopped eviction following a notice issued by a court of law in Nakuru County early into the Kenya Kwanza administration's life. He also said Kenya is a shareholding entity, which is contrary to the oath of office he took to serve Kenyans without favor and without any contradiction. I mean, if they did not call him out on those constitutional rule of law issues, which were impeachable offense against the deputy president, do the section of the Kenya Kwanza leadership have the moral authority to call out Gachagua now?
Oh my God, that's a wonderful question. And my answer is very simple. They have absolutely no moral authority. Even when, I mean, the most beautiful thing, Ayub, go to the clips. I was sitting here with you. I think I was sitting here when I said, how can Gachagua stand up in public and announce that, you see what? Yes, we have this outfit. Yes, what is it called? It's called this company we have now, where we have 2 shareholders. And you see, this was how the president is going to take his shares, and I'm taking my shares, and I'm going to move on and do my thing. And Ayub, Gachagua is a consequence of this damn system of ours which is broken. That when you take power, when you get elected, what do you fight for? You fight to entrench yourself. You make sure that the argument and the narrative you give is that you come out and start telling your people that, you see what, yes, I was getting this power to do what? To make sure that I build you, that I will give you jobs as my community, that I'll make sure that we only get PSS who are from our community. In fact, these elections, and that's why you hear Gachagua is constantly raising and talking about to President William Ruto, you did not win these elections. We are the ones who made you win. To me, that is the broken system we are calling Kenya political matrix. All right? And most wonderful, Ayub, I'm a Catholic in religion, and in Catholicism, we believe in the emancipation of the spirit. I'm so happy that Gachagua's spirit has been emancipated. He's finally realizing that now the only thing he can do is run to his community and say, whoa, hey, you see they are killing me. I'm your son. I was telling you I was going to bring you the food and the bread. You see they have taken the bread away from my hands and my mouth. I have nothing to offer you now. So please, I'm your son, take care of me. If this system was functional, if we were good leaders, if we were organizing and making sure that this is a system that should be fair, equitable, and reasonable to everybody, where Kenyans are given opportunities to share the national cake, where employment opportunities are publicly put out there and we actually accept meritocracy, where we govern without corruption and these arrangements whereby people are busy sharing the loot. The problem you have, I can tell you the truth, and if Gachagua spoke to me and William did, I would tell them that what they're fighting about is about sharing of the loot. How government contracts, how government tenders, how the Adani group is sharing on their own, and the Gachagua is not involved. So he's saying, I don't know what these people are doing. I don't understand which deal they're doing. It's the loot. You go to all the budgetary appropriations which are there. You see in every government department, Ayub, I can come with that document. Here they put 2 billion, here they put 3, here they put 4, here they put 9. At the end of it is 90 billion shillings or 100 that is being shared. That is the loot people are sharing. Promotions of police officers, promotions of teachers are being done by who's in office. What happens to those people who have nobody in office? This is the governance structure that we've inherited from independence. Mzee Kenyatta fought with Jaramogi. What were they fighting about? It is state resources, the distribution of land after Mau Mau. The war started. What was Moi fighting about with Professor Saitoti? What was he fighting with Kibaki? What was he fighting with the guy who was the chancellor at Nairobi University, Mungai? They are fighting about this. People were saying, please, we can't do it this way. We can't be a people who just go and grab public land. Where when you have capacity and power, you go and take other people's land and change the documentation. Right now, Ayub, government land which is owned by our universities is being taken by force. And then these people take this land, then take those houses, allocate themselves, create a new company, and go back to the university and tell them, no, you know what? Now you rent these houses from us because they are ours. That is why Kiambi was fired. He was saying, what are you people doing? You have guys who are going to Nairobi West where there's Kirdi land. They are taking Kari land. I mean, this system is so dysfunctional. Yeah. Is so broken down that you now come, then you have Gachagua on the table. Now, look at what happened between William and Uhuru. Uhuru was crying, wait a minute, he's killing me. He's taking over everything. If he becomes president, blah, 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 blah. Look at the war that came up. Look at the scandals that have come out of that. Now come to Gachagua and William. They were saying how this thing is wonderful. I was laughing with Gachagua when I was in a funeral where he was. I said, I used to be with you on TV and you would tell me how this government of Uhuru is going home and it's going to be beautiful for you. Then I told him, but you didn't tell me after Uhuru goes home what you would do. Now you are in the same government. You are telling me exactly the same thing you were telling me about Uhuru. You see what I'm talking about, Ayub? This now, Gachagua is making noise. I will tell you this today. Because I'm a political pragmatist, the worst move William Ruto could make. Because Gachagua has already done what? He's radicalized Central. He has told them the food is being taken away. He's told them what they were entitled to. That is actually what they offered to President William Ruto has already been taken. So he's telling his people, please, let us figure out a way on how now we are going to do what? To disagree. My request, and I saw a member of parliament said wonderful things. I don't know that it was Karungo or somebody said, Mr. President, if we start this war, this is only 2 years after elections. For the next 8 years, we are going to be fighting over this issue. Most likely, if you don't watch out, this is how 2007 and 2008 started.
Okay. Yes, Honorable Maknyamita.
Let me say this. I want to... my senior and my friend Mheshimiwa Onyonka. It is one thing to complain and yet another to try and attempt to do something. For how long? And he has a much deeper history. You know, Mheshimiwa Onyonka also comes from a political family. He has a longer history of the system and we keep complaining about the system. This is working, this is not working. As elected leaders today, what is it we are going to do? And when my friend, Honorable Robert Mbui says that, you know, we are a regional country, we are a tribal nation, that's okay. Are we comfortable doing it the same way? Is there something that we can be able to do about it? For me, that is the biggest question. And let's talk about this impeachment. You know, this impeachment before this weekend, if you ask me, was a creation of the deputy president. I have never had a single member of parliament saying that they're collecting signatures. I sit in the parliament with my colleague here. I have never had any member of the Senate trying to censure Gachagua and all those other things.
It's on the...
It has been actually... No, that's what I'm saying. It has actually just been done until this last weekend. Actually, the calls hit a high after the interview. But let's also just go back to it. We cannot sit here as leaders that because this has been the norm, that a mistake has always been, it has happened in the past that we are comfortable with it. Two wrongs don't make a right. The fact that when they got in, and I remember Robert Mbui and even Onyonka, many leaders actually called out the deputy president when he spoke about shareholding. We all come from regions. Before I ran for office, for example, I sit with my family, I start from there. I cannot every day in the office keep on saying, oh, before you give me something, let me get something for my family. We called him out during when he spoke about the shareholding issue. And what actually happened? With shareholding, when you have people getting into office with a sense of entitlement, leaders, including us who did not vote for this particular government, when you go to those offices, they don't think that you deserve any service. Yet they expect you to pay taxes. And I actually think it is part of that what built the rage that led to the protest. The protests that we had were not largely because of the finance bill. Finance bill was just one of the catalysts. But what actually led is the rage. Everyone wants to feel as a Kenyan. We pay taxes. You cannot be coming to us and say, let us pay taxes. Then when it is about sharing, oh, you know, mambo ya mulima, mambo ya wapi, and things like that.
But,
number two.
But how do you, as you go to point number 2, and I'll give you the time to make your point, how then do you delink Gachagua from the President, William Ruto, given that they serve under the presidency and they had a government? To just give you, but this is a very an important example. In March this year, the court nullified the employment of 1,406 Kenya Revenue Authority Revenue Service assistants, which it said was unconstitutional, based on the following: that it was heavily skewed in favor of the Kikuyu and Kalenjin communities to the disadvantage of other Kenyans. The judge further said that a public body like KRA should afford equal and adequate opportunity for appointment, training, and advancement at all levels to members of all ethnic groups and persons with disability. Clearly, it's not a Gachagua problem, is it? It's a government problem. And how will the government delink itself from the tone Gachagua employed and what's practically happening of Kenyans who are sidelined and are locked out of opportunities, yet they merit, they qualify, and they have the competence to serve in any office?
What we are saying is that it is a government problem, but the second in command supports it in public, and not once, but severally. That's the thing. You see, when the court nullified and said, you cannot have two communities do this, and they nullified the employment, when then you continue to have a second in command at every single opportunity, keeping on repeating the same thing and saying, oh, what Mulima, everything is about ourselves. It is us who voted for this government. It is us who brought this government. The problem we have, or I personally have, is, you know, continuing, you know, when you're holding such a high office, and let's talk about who is a deputy president. When this government came into place, and if we are to be very honest, even if we didn't vote for the government, they came in at a tough time. They are going to have to make very tough decisions on certain issues. We want to see the government, from the length and breadth of government, from the president to the cabinet members, including principal secretaries, talk about government policy, that this is exactly what we are doing. We don't see that. We don't see that. I can tell you, in 30 days in a month, 25 or if not 28 of them, the deputy president is in his village. And he's keeping on saying, oh, we are the ones, we are the ones, we are the ones doing this. What is going to happen? And if he feels that there is a problem, and he's bringing it back to the public, he should bring it back to Kisii, where Mheshimiwa Nyonka is coming from. He should bring it back to Migori, where we also come from. He should take it to Ukambani. So what I'm saying is that the issue of impeachment, if you ask me, and I think it's a smart political move from Deputy President Gachagua, it was a creation of him on his own. It actually came out during the interview, and other politicians have taken cue and saying, now we are going to actually impeach you. The grounds you have actually said, I don't think there's already even an impeachment motion on the floor of the House, or a proposal to that matter. The one that came close to it was a censure, which is actually largely calling him out and saying, you know, censure is a motion of high disapproval of how you are acting. It's not one that is getting you out of office. And that's, I think, what Mugatana was actually doing yesterday. An impeachment one has actually not come. But the question is this, which I'm asking my colleague leaders, that it is a political issue, that it is a problem of Kenya Kwanza, that it is a system that we have actually inherited. Are we going to sit back and just be comfortable with it? Or are we going to try and even make an attempt at correcting it? The how is maybe what we can agree, but are we going to make an attempt? Because otherwise then what is going to happen? It will go and be the same mobilization. Tomorrow, Honorable Nyonka will pick me as his running mate, and then we say, no, Mbui, please, sit on the side. Okay. This is our own. But if we set the precedent by taking action about leaders who are balkanizing us by regions, no one else will actually repeat it. In fact, I dare say that, let's say, you know, principal assistant to the president, you should be attempting to assist him.
Okay, let me ask you this, Honorable Nyamita, then, because let's begin with the basics and look at the composition of our cabinet.
Correct.
And the argument is, which is given by Gachagua's opponents from the region, is that, look, we, the Mount Kenya region, have the highest number of cabinet members in cabinet. in your view, were the appointments to give one region more than 5 cabinet secretaries fair? Does it mean Luo Nyanza, where you come from, there are no competent personalities who can serve in cabinet?
That was a mistake. That was a mistake from the onset.
So you agree with me there is a general problem with the presidency?
Let me tell you, that was a big mistake from the president. But let me tell you, it's only a fool who doesn't change his mind. I think the president got to realize that. He has made attempts to include people from other regions. We are not yet fully there, but there's been that attempt.
Ayub, can I help my brother Nyamita?
You'll make your point. Hold it, sip your tea, I'll come to you. Let me go to Mr.
You know, when I hear Nyamita saying what he just said, it shocks me because...
You shudder. I mean,
you see, even the region I come from, we had 2 cabinet secretaries. Now we have 1. I mean, and we are here saying that it's not regional. But let me say this, this is a political game. And the political games are things that people do, which is unfortunate. First, they divide and rule. Ruto is trying to divide and rule the mountain. And I don't think he'll succeed. 2, there is an issue of use and dispose. I think it's happened from time immemorial. Use people when you need them, you dispose when you don't need them.
Use and dump.
Yes, use and dump. And then the other one is the issue of, in the 48 laws of power, there's that thing that says do not outshine, the first rule I think, do not outshine the master. Now if you look at Kenya's history, there has been, it's actually almost from independence, we have had this problem. It's not starting now, and we need to figure out how to put a stop to it. Jaramogi had a falling out with his boss, Uhuru Kenyatta. Jomo Kenyatta, he actually resigned. Daniel Arap Moi had problems with Jomo Kenyatta because there was a clique around the first president who was constantly, demeaning him and humiliating him. He maintained the position and succeeded and became president. Mwai Kibaki, as vice president of Moi, actually ended up resigning and was demoted at one point to a cabinet, to a minister. Professor Saitoti was fired for a period, and Moi even said, I'll return him so that we see whether to put more food on the table. There was this gentleman called Josephat Karanja, vice president, who was kicked out unceremoniously. They said, he was telling other politicians to kneel before him. He was saying he's an acting president, and just on the basis of that, he was kicked out of office. Ruto had serious fights with his predecessor, and now Gachagua has fallen into the same trap. I just want to urge the president, because he is the only one who made a promise to the country on national TV that he will not allow any humiliation to his deputy. He said it. He was in an interview. He said it will never happen, not over his watch. He will never allow any junior officer to intimidate or embarrass his deputy. Kimani Ichung'wah is junior to the deputy president. He's insulting him everywhere, So I think the president needs to keep his promises. I think he was told there are promises that require budgetary allocation. Those are difficult because sometimes the money isn't there. But this one of telling people do not insult my deputy, he doesn't need any budget. He can do it. And it's something he can do overnight. But finally, I just want to say, let us stop this political bickering. It is taking us away from focusing on the issues like what Onyonka has raised of deals being cut under the table. And it tells me, just what he has said, it tells me that the reason there is political bickering is because there are certain things people wanted to share and the deals did not go through, but they will never disclose that to us.
Absolutely.
We will always hear that this person is not good, this one insulted me at the airport, I don't know, this one looks at me badly, or this person is too arrogant. But at the end of the day, it is deals that have gone south, and we will never be told the real deals.
Where is the Wiper Party in all this quagmire?
Wiper Party is here saying that we do not want bickering. We want the deputy president and the president to work and serve the country. We will hold them to account, both of them. In fact, when we were saying Ruto must go, it was to be both Ruto and Gachagua. And if anyone says Gachagua should go, it should be both Gachagua and Ruto.
Yes, Senator.
I wanted to respond. I have listened to severally, Ayub, when I am either on TV giving my discussions, which is not a very easy thing to do. Most people think we come and sit here and talk these things because we think that I want to tell my brother, Engineer Nyamita, I am not just talking about these things. I've been telling you so that you, who are apologists for this government, can understand where we are. Let me tell you where we are. Your financial structure is broken. Go and fix it at the National Assembly. look at the IPP law, go and change this law that we passed, which was passed deliberately to make sure we leave gaps, and those are the gaps people are using to do shady deals. By now, I expect you, Honorable Nyamita, to be asking the Committee of Transport at the National Assembly, how did one company sign an agreement and take over, which is called Ketraco? You are an engineer. You are trained as an ICT expert. I want to ask you, how did we bring one company to come in and start programming and preparing for us to have a platform of running our financial health system? You are an ICT guy. You mean a Kenyan company can't do that? All right. Don't ask me to fix government. It is the job of the government in place to fix the mess. My job is to talk. Bro, my job is to say how people are eating money from roads. My job is, there was nothing wrong with NHIF. Was there? You've been in parliament with me. NHIF was set up in a systematic and incredible manner where individuals set companies, which then they set into the system of the NHIF, and money is stolen in billions. That is what SHIF is about. All right? Honorable Nyamita, you are an engineer. You are a clerk. I love you, bro. Is it normal that Adani is being given all these jobs?
No.
It is not. So what do you want Onyonka to do? I've already said it. I've already had a fight with ESCC. I'm asking them, when was the last time that ESCC... Do you know the company I call Trident? Trident is affiliated with Amaco. Who is the owner of Amaco? You know. And we are saying that Amaco can't do business. We are not saying that Trident can't do business. Can you do it within the law? I mean, why is it that we don't want to do any... Is Kenya supposed to be a country that is governed by laws and the constitution, or are we going to become a banana republic that is sharing bananas in the bush and you keep all and eat the banana wraps and everything? This is, Ayub, this is the mess we have in our country. And then people are blaming me for saying the truth.
No, I think if you may,
Briefly,
Ayub,
I'll allow me to yes.
that Mheshimiwa Onyonka has taken a bit of a diversion. On the other issues that you're saying, you know, the issues of the financial situation of the country and all those things, all of us need to do our rightful work. And I don't support certain things, that I agree. The topic in discussion was the issue about the impeachment.
I'll come there now.
So before you take a diversion, this is the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
The fixing I was talking about is, are we going to sit, me and you,
yes,
who sits in the Senate,
yes,
going to sit here and see the top leadership of our country call each other names and sit here in Parliament when we have the power? That's the fixing I'm talking about.
True.
When we have the power to call them to order. That's the question that I'm talking about.
Fantastic.
On the other issues that you're talking about, I think we deliberated very well.
Thank you.
But are we going,
let me answer.
Going to sit?
I am
just say that we are okay.
I now get what my brother said.
Yeah.
What do you think you can do about Gachagua right now?
What I think me and you can do is not about Gachagua. What I think me and you can do is whoever is holding an office and is calling. You know, my brother here says that the president promised that his deputy is not going to be humiliated. I completely agree. And the president shouldn't allow his deputy to be humiliated.
Very good.
But the president did also not promise Kenyans that the deputy president is going to humiliate the rest of us.
Okay, can I
humiliate us as a country? So me and you in Parliament should call the holder of a higher office, as that of the deputy president, the holder to act as someone who is holding an office that represents the whole of Kenya. That office is not for a specific region. That is what me and you can be able to do. That's a fixing I'm talking about.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
The other day, my party leader, Honorable Raila, appointed members to join Ruto's government.
I think the president is the one who appointed.
Okay, where did those people come from?
From ODM.
Don't we belong to Nyanza?
Absolutely.
Why were only members of the Luo community elected to be cabinet secretaries?
No.
Wait.
Joe is
Wait.
From Mombasa.
I am helping you understand. I am helping you understand that the problem you are blaming Gachagua for is a political problem in the whole of Kenya. When we are given opportunity to serve this country called Kenya, we first serve our relatives, our cousins, our friends, and our children.
But Onyonka, you know.
Wait. So wait. It's true. It's true.
You know that is not true.
When you are given positions,
we have someone from Turkana.
No.
From Western.
No.
We have someone from the coast.
So the point I'm making, for me, the point I'm making is very simple. Gachagua is a symbol of the failed system of Kenyan governance structure. Gachagua is not the cause. He is actually a consequence.
Correct.
When this system is broken, when you are taking a hegemonic arrangement where you take state resources and you keep on taking them to your place. Let me ask you a question. How did Uhuru spend 560 billion to do one road in central Kenya? And all of us were there. Did we ever get a road like that in Luo, Nyanza, and Kisii? That's what we are saying.
Thank you. Let's now sample the feedback, and we are out of time. See what Kenyans are saying. The hashtag on X is Citizen Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. Here is what we are saying as we wrap things up here on the broadcast, to sample just but a few of your feedback here on the broadcast. And the first one comes from Nte from Kenya. Says, remind Uriri MP that Raila only nominated ODM members to join government. Charity begins at home. Engineer Lazaro says, how will Kenya rally her defense forces in case of a war when leaders retreating to their clansmen after getting into office? Honorable Mbui, you are a respected national leader. Don't support abominations on national just because of politics. Crispina says the DP and the president were in harmony until when serious looting started, since Gachagua believed that he was going to get a bigger portion as a shareholder. This is the consequence of electing corrupt and tribal leaders. Okelo Mwalimu says it's unacceptable for politicians to use their tribesmen or women as bargaining chips during campaigns, only to convert them to body shields once their political marriages become shaky. DP should either concentrate on service delivery or resign and oppose the government from outside. Again, Crispina says the tragedy we have is that our elected leaders are still operating with a mindset of the old constitution where goodies were dished by the roadside. MPs have failed and must rise up to play their major role of oversight. The last one is Okelo Mwalimu, says kudos Senator Sifuna and Cherargei and Senator Onyonka for playing the oversight role as is enshrined in the Constitution, and holding CS Mbadi to account must replace his misplaced anger with facts and sobriety. If we don't watch out, Kenya may soon be renamed Adani Republic of Kenya.
Of Africa.
Well, because of the numbers, we can sample all of them. But thank you, Senator Richard Onyonka. Your time is appreciated. Many thanks for your presence here.
Thank you, my colleagues.
Robert Mbui, Kadhiani MP, thank you. And Mark Nyamita Uriri, Member of Parliament, thank you for your time as well.
Take a picture.
Thanks to you too for waking up with us here on the broadcast. Much appreciated for your presence here. Up next is Social Hour with the team that's coming up next. Tomorrow morning. Good morning.